Welcome back to Building Character, where we figure out how to play as your favorite fictional characters in Dungeons & Dragons. Join the Patreon for this character sheet and a whole bunch more, and like and subscribe for more moral ambiguity next time you play. Maybe. Today we're building Cole MacGrath from Infamous, who can't be a true superhero because he doesn't have a superhero name. It really drives you to ethical ambivalence when you show up and everyone says, "Oh, thank God, Cole is here."
Look at this Cole MacGrath. Every time I do it makes me laugh.
Let's start off with our goals for this build. First, we need electricity, and maybe we'll swap other elements later, if you feel like it. Next, we need to move around the city, avoiding the plague on the streets. Relatable. Finally, we'll get some telekinesis, lifting objects with the power of our brain, or lightning, or magnetism, all kind of the same thing.
Hi everybody, this video is sponsored by Factor. If you don't follow me on social media, you might not know that I have a cold right now, and I hate it. But I still need to eat food. So I can either put in a ton of effort cooking something or order food that's not healthy and won't help my body recover. There's a third option though, and that option is Factor. Factor gives you delicious meals that are ready to eat in 2 minutes. All you gotta do is poke some holes, then pop it in the microwave for 2 minutes. Today we're eating the turkey chili and zucchini with ancho lime crema. This one is keto friendly. They also have options for vegetarian or calorie smart, depending on what you're looking to eat. Earlier today, I had the sun-dried tomato and spinach fusilli with Italian herb roasted zucchini. That was a vegetarian option, and it was also delicious. Click the link in the description and enter offer code TULOK50 for 50% off your first Factor box.
For stats, we'll be using the standard point array from the player's handbook. Roll for stats if you want, just keep your multi-classing minimums in mind. Dexterity will be number 1. Cole gets lightning by lightening his load. Just kidding, it's for punching. Charisma next, you've got dormant superpower stuff. That means you don't get plagued. That means we're probably gonna go sorcerer. Wisdom after that, your perception is so good you can kind of see into the future. Follow that up with constitution. Durability is important if you're saving the world or conquering it, either or. Strength is a bit low. We can patch it up easier and still get something close to super strength, and we'll dump intelligence. We just don't need it as much as everything else. Cole is a human. He might have lightning cooked into his DNA, but that's actually the definition of the sorcerer class. Spoilers. Take skill expert for your feat, pump your charisma with that free point, take athletics for your skill of choice, and grab expertise in athletics while you're at it, letting you double your proficiency bonus with that skill. Boom. Super strength, super easy. Bump your charisma and dexterity with your 2 free points, take investigation for your skill of choice, and perception and intimidation from your background. Those will help you know if you're going to be a good guy or a bad guy. Well, the other one's just going to help you scare people. That's probably just for the bad guy version. Take persuasion if you want to be nice. We'll kick things off as a monk. Cole was into parkour before he became an electro god. Take acrobatics and insight for your skills of choice. You need to do cool jumps and know yourself. You get martial arts to make unarmed attacks using your dexterity modifier. They deal 1d4 plus your dexterity modifier in damage, and you can make another unarmed attack as a bonus action after you make one with your action. Those combos are almost as fast as Lightning McQueen from Cars. He's fast. Can't be wearing armor while parkouring, so enjoy unarmored defense, making your AC 10 plus your dexterity and wisdom modifier when you're not wearing armor. Second level monks can parkour better with unarmored movement, giving you a little movement boost when you keep it light. You also get key points to do cool lightning stuff like Step of the Wind, letting you dash or disengage as a bonus action with doubled jump distance for some big old super hops. Patient defense lets you dodge as a bonus action, helping to keep the damage off. Flurry of blows lets you make 2 unarmed attacks with a bonus action instead of 1. Now we've got combos like lightning from Final Fantasy 13, also fast. I guess those really aren't lightning powers yet. Thankfully, at the 3rd level of monk, you can choose a monastic tradition, and ascended dragon monks can turn up the voltage as a draconic disciple. That lets you change the damage of your unarmed attacks to acid, cold, fire, lightning, or poison damage. I really love this for Cole, since that means you can change up your superpowers in the sequel. You can also use Draconic Breath in a 20-foot cone or 30-foot line, forcing a dexterity saving throw on creatures inside, dealing double your martial arts die in damage on a failed save, half damage on a successful one, letting you get a little more AoE. You can use this a number of times for free, equal to your proficiency bonus per long rest. After that, it takes 2 key points. It will get even better when we get an extra attack, since you're replacing one of your attack actions to use it. All monks can deflect missiles, letting you reduce the damage of incoming ranged attacks by 1d10 plus your dexterity modifier, and monk level as a reaction, and even throw the ammo back with a key point if you drop drop the damage to 0. Most of the time, this means small pieces of ammunition like arrows, but Cole literally deflects missiles. 4th level monks get slow fall, letting you reduce falling damage by 5 times your monk level as a reaction. It's not out and out flying, but it should make the parkour much safer. You need to fall with style before you can fly. For your ability score improvement, start with dexterity. We're going to be using lightning punches for now, especially since 5th level monks get an extra attack, letting you make 2 attacks with your action, or up to 4 with a flurry of blows, or 1 AoE and 2 punches, or 1 AoE and 3 punches with a flurry of blows. Mixing up combos is a big part of the infamous fun, just like a d6 martial arts die is a big part of the monk fun. You also get stunning strike, letting you spend a key point to force a constitution saving throw on a creature you hit with a weapon attack, stunning them until the end of your next turn if they fail. I guess your attacks are pretty shocking. Like, I can't think of a pun for this one. Moving on. 6th level monks get key empowered strikes, letting you make your unarmed attacks magical in terms of overcoming resistances. It's not as big of a deal for Ascendant Dragon monks since they already have great damage variety. Thankfully, this is also where you get wings unfurled, giving you a flying speed when you use Step of the Wind as long as you land somewhere solid, or don't and just use slow fall. At this point, that's a jump of 90 feet. That's a big old hop. 7th level monks get evasion, letting you take half damage on failed dex saves and no damage on successful ones, letting you avoid lightning bolts and fireballs a little better. You also get stillness of mind, letting you remove the effects of charming or frightening as an action. You have to be pretty fearless to do some hardcore parkour. 8th level monks get another ability score improvement, cap off your dexterity for solid AC before we start taking the tiny hit die. That's going to be in Sorcerer, specifically Draconic Bloodline. Now why Draconic instead of Storm? It's for Draconic Resilience, giving you 1 extra HP for every level you take in the class, and AC equal to 13 plus your dexterity modifier. That doesn't pair with unarmored defense. I'm pretty sure you just choose whichever one would be better. If that's wrong, I don't know, just don't do it. For your cantrips, Shocking Grasp is a melee spell attack that deals 2d8 lightning damage and prevents the target from taking reactions, helping you fly away unscathed. Lightning Lure forces a strength saving throw on a creature, pulling them 10 feet closer to you and dealing 2d8 lightning damage if they end their turn within 5 feet of you. I don't know why it's not just damage. The only way it wouldn't work is with Distant Spell from Sorcerer, so we just won't grab that. Don't worry about it. Firebolt is a ranged spell attack that deals 2d10 fire damage on a hit, and Ray of Frost is a ranged spell attack that deals 2d8 cold damage and slows the target 10 feet. You have to choose if you want fire or ice powers in Infamous, but you don't have to do that in D&D. If you don't want to use those spells, just don't. For 1st level spells, Absorb Elements lets you give yourself resistance to acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage as a reaction, and add a d6 of that damage to an attack next round. The resistance is really great with evasion, since having the damage isn't actually resistance there, so if you mess up the save, you're only taking a quarter damage. Shield adds 5 to your AC as a reaction. Defensive abilities are important with Sorcerer hit die. 2nd level sorcerers get a Font of Magic with sorcery points you can use to recover spell slots at this point and do cooler stuff with next level. For now, grab Catapult for your spell of choice, throwing an object that weighs 5 pounds or less with your mind, dealing 3d8 damage to a creature that fails a dexterity saving throw. 3rd level sorcerers can grab Meta Magic. Heightened Spell gives a creature disadvantage on a saving throw against a spell you cast. Pretty obvious, just turn up the voltage. But I'm most excited to talk about Transmuted Spell from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, and more specifically, why I haven't really used it yet. This lets you spend a sorcery point to change the damage of a spell that deals acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison, or thunder damage to another one of those damage types. So here's why I haven't used it before. If the character only makes ice, like Iceman, and I give him Fireball, he still has Fireball, even if I tell you to transmute the spell to cold damage. But since Cole can change up his powers, I can finally use this one. That means the spell Scorching Ray, which fires 3 ranged spell attacks that deal 2d6 fire damage each, can instead be little lightning bombs or little cold blasts. Hell, you could make them acid bombs at home, but the lightning, cold, and fire trio is the Cole move. 4th level sorcerers get an ability score improvement. Start working on your charisma for better spells. They're a bit better than the basic combos, even if most of the time you're probably going to use the basic combos. For this level spell, Levitate lets you lift an object weighing 500 pounds or less with some electrokinesis. If that thing is a person and they don't want to fly, they can make a constitution saving throw to resist. Otherwise, you can move them 20 feet per round. 5th level sorcerers get 3rd level spells. Fireball can be a fireball that forces a dexterity saving throw on creatures in a 20-foot radius sphere, dealing 8d6 fire damage to those that fail and half as much to those that succeed. Or you could transmute it into another type of damage. Dealer's choice. 6th level Draconic Bloodline sorcerers can get more electric with elemental affinity, letting you add your charisma modifier to the damage of 1 lightning spell per round, maybe incentivize you to transmute your spells back to lightning. You can even spend a sorcery point to get resistance to lightning damage for an hour in case you have to fight a future version of yourself. That sounds pretty wild. Grab Fly for your spell at this level. It gives you a 60-foot flying speed for 10 minutes, depending on your concentration. Though since you've got unarmored movement, you can also add another 15 feet to that. Nothing flies faster than lightning. lightning. 7th level sorcerers can learn 4th level spells. Fire Shield is a personal favorite of mine, making a hot shield or cold shield that gives you resistance to fire or cold damage, and when a creature hits you with a melee attack, they take 2d8 fire or cold damage depending on which one you choose. Cole uses ice for the shield, but you can choose whatever you want. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm trying to leave this one pretty open-ended since making choices is so important to the infamous games. 8th level sorcerers get another ability score improvement, cap off your charisma for maximum superpowers. Since we didn't invest in constitution, maybe scoop up the stone skin spell here, giving you resistance to non-magical bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage for an hour depending on your concentration. We could use some durability. 9th level sorcerers get 5th level spells. Telekinesis is a much better levitate, letting you lift up to 1,000 pounds, and make a charisma check against an athletics check if you want to lift a person, which is probably a little more consistent. You can also switch the thing you're moving as long as you maintain concentration, and dropping a creature will deal falling damage unlike levitate. Upgrading powers, so video game, much wow. 10th level sorcerers get another meta magic option. Empowered spell lets you reroll a number of damage die with a spell you cast equal to your charisma modifier, making sure you get the most potent powers possible. We'll also take Cone of Cold for this level spell, forcing a constitution saving throw on creatures in a 60-foot cone, dealing 8d8 cold damage to those that fail, and other types with some transmutation. I'm trying to mix up the saving throws and shapes of the spells since you can mix up the damage type. It might be controversial to not have Lightning Bolt on the Lightning Man, but a 100-foot line is pretty hard to make work well, so the other shapes are better. And at the 11th level of Sorcerer, we can learn a 6th level spell like Chain Lightning anyway, forcing a dexterity saving throw on a creature within 90 feet of you and 3 creatures within 30 feet of them. Each of them takes 10d8 lightning damage on a failed save, half damage on a successful one. As always, mix it up, make it Chain Fire or Chain Icicle. Lightning is just gonna get a bonus from choosing the blue dragon. Our capstone is the 12th level of Sorcerer for one last ability score improvement or feat. The tough feat will give you 40 HP. Goal is tough, we need to fix that up. Now that we've hit level 20, let's figure out how viable this build is. First, you have damage variety cooked in. With unarmed attacks and spells, you can switch to avoid resistances or exploit vulnerabilities. You're also very mobile, with spell slot free flying from Monk and better flying from Sorcerer. Finally, you're surprisingly durable, with around 160 HP depending on how you rolled, and plenty of ways to keep damage off. For weaknesses, transmuting spells burns through sorcery points pretty fast. Probably just pick a spell that does the damage type you want already. You also have a lot of concentration options, but since you can only have one up at a time, you're gonna have to pick and choose what you want to use. Finally, even if your HP is good, your concentration saves are pretty bad, so you could be dropping spells. But what if you just dropped spells on your enemy and they exploded and couldn't hit you? Use fire, use lightning, use cold damage, use whatever you want. It's your character after all. Just know that your decisions have consequences. You could be labeled as an angle or a devil. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe for more. We make 2 videos every week. Join the Patreon for this character sheet and a whole bunch more, and sub to Tulok and Mango for more Tulok fun.